Good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Dr. S.J. Prathipa, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. Today I am going to share about the topic nuclear power plant. So the outline of the presentation, before going to the topic, I am going to tell about what is nuclear energy and what are the types of nuclear reactions, fission and fusion, nuclear chain reaction, and finally construction and working of light water nuclear power plant. So first, what is nuclear energy? Nuclear energy is the energy which is present inside the nucleus. It releases a tremendous amount of energy which is used to create electricity. There is a strong force acting inside the nucleus of each and every tiny atoms which is present in the universe. There are two types of nuclear reaction. One is nuclear fission, another one is nuclear fusion. What is nuclear fission means? It is nothing but a process of splitting heavy nucleus into two lighter fragments. During this process, a tremendous amount of energy is getting released. Fission means to divide. So you can see in this picture a heavy atom, that is a large atom which is split into two small atoms. During that time, a tremendous amount of energy is getting released. Next type of reaction is nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is a combining of two lighter fragments to give heavy nucleus. During this time also tremendous amount of energy is getting released. And this kind of reaction is said to be thermonuclear reactions. In this picture you can see two small atoms is combined to form a large atom. During this time tremendous amount of energy is getting released. What is nuclear chain reaction? Among the two type of reaction, nuclear fission and fusion, the fission reaction will undergo nuclear chain reaction. So this nuclear chain reaction which is taking place in a device called nuclear reactor in a controlled manner to generate electricity. If the reaction is uncontrolled, it is said to be a nuclear fusion reaction. And in this picture you can see the block diagram of light water nuclear reactor in which the electricity is produced. Before going to see the working of the nuclear reactor, first we have to know what are the parts, components which is present in the nuclear reactor. There are 8 components which is present in the nuclear reactor. Number 1, first is reactor core. What is reactor core means? It is nothing but it is a comprise of fuel elements, that is fuel rods, moderators, coolants and control rods in the nuclear reactor. Second one is fuel rods. Fuel rods is nothing but fissionable materials. Generally, radioactive elements like uranium, thorium, plutonium are used in the form of rods. It produces huge amount of heat energy. The mainly neutrons that initiates the nuclear chain reaction inside the fuel rods. The control rods, third one. Control rods are there inside the nuclear reactor. It prevents the damage of reactor and it reduces the speed of the reaction by absorbing the excess neutrons. It controls cadmium or boron rods are used for this purpose. It absorbs the excess neutrons. Fourth one is moderators. Moderators are used to reduce the kinetic energy of fast moving neutrons to slow down the speed of the neutrons. Hence the reaction is getting reduced. Example, heavy water, beryllium, graphite can be used as a moderators. Fifth one is coolant. Coolant is used to remove the intense heat which is produced inside the reactor because of nuclear fission reaction that is taking place inside the reactor core, which is used to produce steam to generate electricity. Example, water, steam, helium, carbon dioxide, air, molten metals, etc. Sixth one is a pressure vessel. This pressure vessel is present inside the reactor to maintain the pressure of the reactor. The pressure vessel can withstand pressure as high as 200 kg per centimeter square. There is an entrance and exit passage for coolant for reducing the pressure. Seventh component is protective shield. Usually a thick massive concrete shield is used to protect the reactor, which prevents from the exit of gamma rays and other harmful radiations to the surroundings. Eighth one is turbine. The turbine which is used to drive the generator to produce electricity. The steam at the high pressure generates and the heat exchanger is used to operate the steam turbine. Next is the working of nuclear reactor. So the nuclear reactor, we know inside the fuel element is nothing but uranium, plutonium, like this radioactive element. They will undergo self-sustaining fission chain reactions, and it releases tremendous amount of energy. And it is since the cadmium and boron rods are placed alternative to the fuel rods, so the fission reactions is taking place in the controlled manner by inserting or removing the controlled rods. The controlled fission of uranium inside the reactor produces the heat energy. That heat energy is getting entered into the next column, that is said to be a coolant. I'll show the block diagram. So in this block diagram, you can see this is the nuclear reactor core. You can see the uranium fuel rod, and the black color is said to be a boron controlled rods, which is placed alternative to the fuel rods. And during the fission reaction, tremendous amount of energy is getting released, and this is entering into the so after this, the heat is entering into the heat exchanger. The heat exchanger is having normal water, sea water, and the heat is getting transferred from this to a normal sea water. So the steam is getting generated. This steam from the heat exchanger, it is transferred to the turbine, and you can see the turbine is rotating with the help of the steam. So the generator is functioning to produce the electricity. And after that, the steam is going to the condenser, where the steam is getting condensed, and it is converted into the vapor is converted into a liquid, and this liquid is again taken for the heat exchanger. So this is cyclic manner, this is happening here to produce the electricity. So in this way only it is the nuclear reactor is working. How the nuclear reactor inside the reactor waste, because fission reaction, the uranium will produce daughter elements, that is barium and krypton, as a fission product. So that will be considered as a waste. How they are disposing the waste, reactor waste, is very it's a very tedious process, because they are collecting all the barium and krypton, and the waste is getting packed in the concrete barrels and buried deep in the sea, because it is highly dangerous thing which releases harmful radiations to the environment. The impact will be there when it is releasing, the impact will be there for the 100 years in the environment. So it has to be disposed in a proper way in a sealed concrete which is buried deep in the sea. So that's all about the nuclear power plant construction, the basic principle behind it, and thank you.